Give me some good news, Donald. That's not good news. That's not good news at all. I asked you for some good news, Donald.
Yeah.
1 day off. That's all I ask of you. Just give me 1 day off. Give it to me. Is that so hard? Apparently for Sony and Nintendo it is. They have nothing but bad news to deliver us, and the thing that sucks about bad news from Sony and Nintendo is that it requires me to hit record and edit. I understand your guys' frustration with me. You're thinking, Frit, all I want for once is some good news. Do you have good news to give me? No. Not when it involves PC parts, not when it involves the current state of the AAA industry, not when it involves console hardware, not when it involves game prices. There just isn't any good news to share. These releases of brand new software and hardware don't come with any good news for your wallet. I mean, I'm set. I buy games on Steam when they're on a great sale, or I just turn to Game Pass. Two very viable solutions, but if you're a PlayStation only or a Nintendo only gamer, gaming just got even more expensive for absolutely no reason. Now, last video, we were discussing how Sony is trying to resell you The Last of Us 1 bundled with The Last of Us 2 for $110. And what do you get in that box? A thank you letter from Neil Druckmann. Cocky, greedy Sony is back. From their PS3 days, they haven't changed a bit, it would seem. A little too comfortable with minimal competition. Not that I blame Microsoft, because it is Sony deciding to do all of this anyway, and it is the consumers choosing to support it. So as much as we want to blame Microsoft for stepping away from the console wars, we have no one to blame but upper management at Sony. Never forget the way Sony wanted you to work 2 jobs just to buy the PS3. Yeah, I know, Husky. It's fucked up. I agree with you. Like I said, Sony during the PS3 era literally told the consumers they want them working 2 jobs to get the PS3. That Sony hasn't gone anywhere. They always existed. They were just waiting for the day there was no competition left. Well, then again, with the Switch 2 now getting good third-party support, it would seem the only real competition Sony has is with another greedy corporation who's trying to outprice them. And Sony said, hold my PS Portal, watch us outdo them. They want to charge 80, we'll charge 100. And thus begins the worst type of competition, seeing which company can get away with the most. Because it was officially announced just about an hour or 2 ago that Sony is going to be raising the prices of the PS5 again. An update on PS5 pricing in Europe, Australia, and New Zealand. I love it. This is from the official PlayStation account on Twitter. They don't say price hike. They don't open their tweet with that. They just say an update on PS5 pricing. Sony, do you understand that this comes at the worst time imaginable? This is fresh off of getting the news that the Switch games are gonna be $80. People are already tilted. The last thing they want to hear is the 5-year-old console getting a price hike, which makes no sense in this year. A price hike for what? Why is the price going up? A PS5 right now should be $300, or at least $350 right now. Does anybody else here, other than Pepperidge Farms, remember when consoles used to go down in price? You remember after like 2 years, there would be a price drop and the price would keep going down? Yeah, those days are gone. It's ass backwards. It makes no sense. I mean, the software going up in price, that's debatable. I don't believe it should be going up in price, but there are better arguments to be made there. But the consoles, old hardware going up in price? How does that benefit consumers in this current time? With how the economy is at the moment, people should be getting economic deals, not being charged like PlayStation is a premium product, because it's not. It's a fucking closed off gaming PC with a limited OS. It ain't nothing special. And with the current shitty ass lineup of games Sony has for this, what makes them think in their right mind people are gonna be more excited to buy their console? God damn. Well, here's the official announcement from the actual PlayStation blog. Let's check it out. Disk drive for PS5 price will also be reduced in these regions. Ooh, whoop-dee-doo, you lower the price of the disk drive. Thank you. Wonderful. How generous of Sony to drop the price of a disc drive that didn't even come with your digital console. With a backdrop of a challenging economic environment, I'll suck my dick, including high inflation, fluctuating exchange rates, Sony Interactive Entertainment has made the tough decision to raise the recommended retail price. Oh yeah, I'm sure everybody in that boardroom had such a tough decision. After seeing Nintendo get away with it, I'm sure everybody in that board meeting was like, oof, I don't know. Oh, think of the moral panic. No, they're all popping champagne bottles, blowing lines of coke, and eating sushi off a naked Asian woman on the table. This was not a tough decision for them. They don't give a fuck. They're not considering your economic struggles. They're looking at an opportunity for people like Griffin Gaming, who will buy the most expensive version of everything. I don't know what Sony's thinking. Maybe they thought in their heads, if we price out all the brokies, then we'll only be left with the highest paying customers. Genius. The recommended retail price of the PlayStation 5 console in select markets in Europe, Middle East, and Africa, Australia, and New Zealand. The updated PS5s are effective starting April 14th. Man, they just couldn't wait. Look how soon they did that shit to you. Again, remember what I told you. You purchasing the Switch, too. You buying into Nintendo's crap was gonna cause this to happen. Didn't I say that? Didn't I tell you? What I tell you? And when I say what happened when I told you? What happened when I told you? Nobody ever listens to the popsicle stick, but whatever. In Europe, the PS5 digital edition will be 500 euros. No price changes for the standard PS5 though, but why is the digital one getting a price hike then? It's literally missing a feature that a base PS5 has, and it's going up in price? Why? In the UK, again, the PS5 digital, £429. Again, no changes to the standard PS5 price, but we're looking at $430 for that crap. Then the standard PS5 in Australia, it's going up to 829 Australian dollars. Oh my God. No pun intended, but the pricing in Australia is upside down. Absolutely insane. You live around a bunch of animals that could kill you every single day of your life, emus destroying the land, horrendous hot weather, and they expect you to pay more to live in such an environment. And then in New Zealand, the standard PS5 goes up to 949 New Zealand dollars. How do people live in these countries? At least the PS5 Pro doesn't go up in price, but I mean, to be fair, that thing's expensive enough as it is, but it's insane. If you live in Australia, you're already paying PS5 Pro prices, which is astronomical. I do not understand how the gaming market hasn't crashed from this yet, but it deserves it. It is insane to me that this is the current state of the gaming industry. Ancient hardware that was already outdated when it released is more expensive 5 years later, with no significant price drops. Tell me how this is justified. The fact that all the PlayStation 5's content is on PC anyway should already devalue this console. Why are people paying a premium to play on PlayStation if you're not even giving them a premium experience? 2 years into the PS1's life cycle, it got a price drop. And then a year later, it got another price drop. 2 years into the PS2, and it got a price drop. This was a move Sony used to make to get even more people on board with what was already a high-selling system. Nowadays, even though the system is set to break records, not only does it not get a price drop, but instead it goes up in price, which makes no sense. Slashing prices, taking small L's, and recovering in software is the way these companies used to do it, but I find it impossible, hard to believe that they're not selling enough software. There's no way. That would be the only explanation, that what they can't make in software, they're trying to make back in hardware these days, but again, I doubt it. With the millions upon millions of copies that sell for a lot of games, there is just no way in hell Sony isn't making money hand over fist. How is it possible to have such ludicrous price hikes when you're having record-breaking profits and record-breaking revenue and record-breaking console sales? And this is coming off of charging people subscription fees to play online, selling them a $700 console, jacking up the prices of PS Plus, raising the base price of games to $70? It's outrageous. This is stupid. You go over to Steam right now and you can get some banger deals on content easily. Hell, better yet, Game Pass, not having to pay $70 day one. is a huge benefit to people, but these corporations have conditioned their most loyal fanboys to continue defending and gassing them up. There's no other explanation. How else does Sony get encouraged to do such a thing? Sony is no longer looking for economic value to market to you. They think they're the Gucci brand of consoles, and so they're going to price their products however they feel. I guess that's that variable pricing that Doug Bowser was talking about. I guess he influenced Sony, really inspired them. Insane. You get less for more money, and the PS5 game lineup isn't even good. This console generation is going to go down in history as the most expensive and underwhelming one of them all. This is far exceeding the disappointment that was the PS3. And the worst part is the console's successful in spite of it, so nothing you or I say will change or influence the outcome. Welcome to the new era of console gaming. You're paying PC prices and not getting PC benefits. Isn't that great? Isn't that exactly what you bought a console for? Remember when consoles were supposed to be the viable, cheap option? Not anymore. Now they are setting the standard for what people will charge you to play their games going forward and what they will be doing when it comes to pricing their hardware. I swear to God, if the Nintendo Switch 2 sees a price hike, which it most certainly will, believe me, people will still pay, people will still buy it, things will still go to shit. I'm glad I built my PC 5 years ago and haven't done a single thing other than pay the lowest prices possible to game. A worthy investment, one I think you should make. As we speak, I'm playing Bully emulated right now. I'm playing a bunch of emulated games on top of playing PlayStation titles, Xbox titles, and then the abundance of PC titles like Schedule 1. Now's the best time to invest in a gaming PC because even the price of that's gonna go up. Everything's expensive, but consoles are supposed to find a way to keep gaming cheap for the casual market. But everybody wants PC benefits and prices. Everybody wants to feel like their $400 or $500 box is the pinnacle of gaming, when realistically it's not, and you should embrace that. But instead, you have embraced giving Sony the idea that they should be charging you all these premiums and giving you nothing in return. They've canceled more games on you this generation than any before. They put other titles on PC. You get nothing, not a single benefit to owning this box, and you get charged more. Outrageous. Like, comment, share, and subscribe if you so choose to. I ain't in the mood. This is stupid. I'll see you in the next video.
Fritango sucks ass.